Good, ladies and gentlemen, RFG is back at it today, and I'm here to go over the substance that we all know as alcohol, okay, and the effects that alcohol have on the human psyche, the human well-being, and our bodies, our DNA, okay. Now I have a lot of people basically, hit me up trying to say that forms of alcohol can be good for you. Okay. As far as my research is concerned, the only good alcohol is when you're treating a wound. Okay. When you actually put that substance, you see what I'm saying? A large portion of that substance in your body, there's no good that can come from it. Absolutely no good. Okay. That can come from alcohol consumption. Alcohol and the human body, okay, that's like intentional self-destruction right there. Okay, that's intentionally, willingly, okay, destroying your electromagnetic aura around your body, which basically allows parasitic spiritual demons to latch themselves onto you and to take control of your psyche, to take control of your crown chakra, to take control of your psyche. And this all happens, okay, by the weakening of our cells in our body, also our brain cells, okay, which then weakens the electromagnetic field around our body, which causes other sources of electromagnetic energy known as demons, okay, jinns or ghouls that can latch on to our spirit, okay, and take control of our bodies, okay. I know this sounds far-fetched, but like I said, you already know how I do. I'm all about showing and proving, so that's what I'm gonna get to. But to start things off, I want everybody to understand the nature of our true reality, okay, of this paradigm that we live in on this earth right now. The true paradigm of our reality is we are living in a society, in a world that is controlled by interterrestrial demons known as draconians, okay? These reptilian humanoids known as draconians that live in inner earth, okay? And their mission is to keep humanity divided, keep humanity in a beast animal-like state, and keep humanity in the dark, as in not knowing, okay, our true potential, our true spiritual power, and our true potential, okay? So these entities, these deities can keep harvesting our souls, can keep harvesting our life force, okay, which is the orgone energy, okay? They want to harvest our souls, okay, by keeping our souls reincarnating over and over and over again on this paradigm that we call the earth, okay? This massive mind fuck, this system, okay, this parasitical system that is controlling this society. This is who's in control of it, okay? The parasitical, draconian, reptilian demons that dwell in inner earth. And these draconian demons, they give the orders to the Greys, okay? They give the orders to the future Caucasoid, which is the Grey, okay, which has the capability of time travel in between space-time, in between dimensions, okay? The Draconians give their orders to the Greys, and they basically make the Greys comply by selling the Greys a lie, okay? Telling them that they can give the Greys a soul, okay? By manipulating space-time and telling the Greys that they can go back in time to convince Yakub to give them a soul, okay? The Greys are artificial. They're mostly artificial beings, and their goal is to get a soul, okay? So the Draconians sell them the lie and the hope, okay, the dream that one day the Greys can get a soul. So that's why the Greys are subservient to the Draconians, okay? So while the the Greys are subservient to the reptilians. The Zionist warlocks are under the control and under the indoctrination of the Greys, okay? Because the Zionist warlocks are the individuals who basically they own all of the major resources that humans need on the earth, okay? That is owned by the Zionist Jews, the Zionist warlocks on top, okay? Your quote unquote Illuminati, your quote unquote Inquinabula, your quote unquote Vatican, okay? All the individuals that own all major resources around the world, 90% of them are Zionist Jews, Zionist warlocks, and these Zionist warlocks get their power, okay, over these worldly material resources. They get that knowledge and power from the Greys. The Greys give this knowledge to the Zionist warlocks, okay? So the Zionist warlocks can already know where the resources are, so they can go to those land masses, raid and rob those resources, okay? And also the Zionist warlocks give these Greys human flesh, human bodies to experiment on, and cattle's, okay, and cattle. So the Greys can mutilate that and test the genetics, okay, of the animals on the earth. And they, the Zionist Jews also kidnap kids, okay, and all kinds of humans for the Greys to run their tests on, run their genetic tests on, okay? And then you have the Zionist warlocks who basically are enslaving the other Zionists, okay, who are in control of major corporations across the world. Okay, your lower level Zionists, and these warlocks right here are in control of the money, in control of the finances, in control of the monetary illusion, the fucking monetary illusion of the fiat dollar. Okay, that's what they use to control the lower level Zionist Jews. Okay, and the lower level Zionist Jews that own the multi-billion-dollar corporations, they use their media, their religion, okay, and their bullshit food that they, you see what I'm saying, that they want us to eat. They use all of that as a form to control us and to enslave our souls, okay? Because this all goes back to harvesting human souls, harvesting the orgone energy, okay? The orgone energy. So these draconian demons, okay, can stay living in this third dimensional paradigm, okay? Because these draconians were followers of Set, okay, aka Satan, the fallen one. And their goal is to keep human souls trapped here with them so they can continue to have food. Okay, the Greys and the reptilians need to keep a food source. They have to keep an energy food source. So they sell the Zionist Jews the illusion of power, the illusion of immortality. Okay? So they keep humans enslaved in their goddamn matrix system. And this right here is the hierarchy, okay? This right here is the hierarchy. How do you get caught up in this matrix, okay, that is ran and manipulated by these demonic entities and these Zionist Jews? How do you get caught up in it? You know how? A weak aura. A weak aura field. A weak aura field around your body. A weak temple. We are all light beings that are encapsulated in a body, in a carbon body. 6 protons, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, 666 carbon, which is a light prism. It's a light prism, but it's really a light prison for your soul. The light is your soul, and the carbon is a temporary prison, okay, for your soul. That's why your body's called a temple, because it's only temporary. Okay? And the best way to get caught up in this fucking matrix is to have a weak aura field. And the best way, you see what I'm saying? One of the best ways to fuck up your light, to dim your light, to lower your vibration, to slow up your aura's movement, one of the best ways to have a demon spirit eat and feast off of your light and your body and your aura, okay, is alcohol consumption, period. Okay, and this ties back to the goddamn movie It. This ties back to the movie It. What happened in the movie It? Okay, you had an extraterrestrial demon who could manifest himself in the physical realm and in the dream realm. Okay, he can go back from the third and the fourth dimension, okay, and basically terrorize individuals until he caught them in a defenseless position or a defenseless situation, okay, where the person was defenseless, and this deity right here would eat them, would harvest and eat them, okay? And where did this deity live? Oh, underground, just like the Greys and just like the reptilians. So what was a famous scene from this It movie? Hey, you had a kid called Georgie, right? Had a kid called Georgie, right? And he was walking down a street. It was real rainy, right? And the waters were going down the street, right? And when Georgie tripped and hit his goddamn head, okay, what happened? Georgie had a ship, right? Georgie had a paper ship. Georgie had a paper boat, but it was really a paper ship. And the paper ship, okay, floated down into the goddamn sewers where it was caught by a fucking clown demon, okay? And the clown demon tempted Georgie to get his ship back, okay? When Georgie put his arm down into the gutter, down into the sewer, there you have it. The goddamn reptilian fucking archon that was disguised as a clown bit Georgie's arm off, killed and ate Georgie. But something had to be hijacked before this demon could eat Georgie. Something had to be hijacked, okay, from Georgie before this deity could have any kind of control over Georgie. Okay, so what does this ship right here represent? What does this ship right here represent? This paper ship. I want everybody to look at the shape. Look at the shape of this ship. Okay? Does it look, please tell me, does it look similar? Because that ship, what you just saw, is the top half of a person's Merkaba. It's the top half of a person's Merkaba light ship. Okay? That's where the fucking word ship comes from. A source to move a human soul from one location to the other location. Okay? A ship, a fucking light ship. And when you look at the top half of a Merkaba, uh-oh, there goes Georgie's ship. There goes Georgie's ship. There goes Georgie's ship. Okay? I don't talk out of the side of my neck. I don't talk out of my ass, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Here you go right here. Here you go right here. Here goes the goddamn top half. Here goes Georgie's ship. Here goes Georgie's ship, people, which is the top half of a fucking Merkaba light ship. Here you go. Here you go. One triangle represents the mental and the spiritual aspect of a person's existence. The lower triangle is the physical and the emotional aspect of a person's existence. And they are counter rotating fields of light, okay, that are produced by our 13 chakras, and they create our aura field around us. Okay? There you go. There you go. You saw right here, Georgie's ship. Here goes that point. Here goes that point. Here goes that point. Okay, which forms the partial pyramid structure. But Georgie's ship is nothing but the top half, okay, of a goddamn Merkaba. That's all it is. That's all it is, people. It is the top half of your fucking Merkaba. Okay. What was the famous quote from It? We all float down here. We all float down here. Okay? So the goddamn clown demons are going to tell you, you see what I'm saying? You can seek paradise on this earth. This earth is a heaven. You can seek paradise on this earth. Stay here with us. Stay here with us. You'll float too. You'll float with us. We'll float down here. We'll float in inner earth. We'll float. We'll all float down here. So the vessel that was supposed to be used for you to travel the celestial seas, okay, is now going to be used, okay, to keep you trapped on this lower level, on this lower paradigm, okay, on this lower level, the seas of inner earth. You're going to be trapped in the seas of inner earth because your aura field was pierced by a goddamn clown demon, okay, a draconian spirit, okay, known as a jinn, known as a ghoul, that fucking hijacked your light, saw that your aura field was weak, and fucking hijacked it, okay, and consumed you, consumed your body, consumed your life force, all because, okay, this clown demon hijacked what? Your ship, Georgie's ship, which is the top half of the fucking Merkaba fight ship. The Merkaba is supposed to be used for us to transcend above the celestial seas, okay? But since the clown demons are going to hijack a lot of people's aura fields, okay, their ships are going to be hijacked by these goddamn reptilian demons, and they're going to be harvested, okay? Okay? And it's all going to happen. It's all going to take place when these beings rise from inner earth, okay? And these beings, they're not going to be dressed up as clowns, okay? They're going to be looking like the real deities, the real draconians, okay? And they're going to be on the surface, okay, all for the purpose of harvesting people's light ships, harvesting that energy coming from the Merkaba. See? Okay? It's not a game. It is not a game, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so alcohol. What the hell is alcohol? Well, let's just look at the etymology here and get straight to the point. The word alcohol is from the Arabic call, okay, or alcohol, a powder used as eyeliner, okay, equivalent to the English alcohol was originally used for the very fine powder produced by the sublimation of the natural mineral stibnite to form antimony trisulfide, hence the essence or spirit, okay? Spirit of this substance, okay? So alcohol was used as an antiseptic, eyeliner, and cosmetic, but it was used as a substance to freeze the spirit, to basically take hold of the spirit, okay? Alcohol was used to basically put holes in our spirit, our life force, because when you look at what alcohol does on a microscopic level, it weakens and it attacks the cells in our body. It slows down the brain transmissions, okay, the transmissions between neurons in our brain. It slows down the neuron transmissions in our brain, people, which gives us a very slow and slurred reaction, okay, which weakens our conscious state, okay, in this third dimension. And it burns. You always notice that the alcohol burns when it goes into the body because, yeah, that's right, it's acidical. So it actually takes your body out of an alkaline state into an acidic state. There are sources trying to say that alcohol actually raises your alkaline state. That is a goddamn lie. When you look at most of alcohol, when you look at liquor, okay, You look at beer and liquor, what they try to sell the most, that shit puts your body in a acidic state. Okay? And the acid eats away at your brain, eats away at your liver, eats away at your kidneys, and eats away at your cells. Okay? So, in a sense, the alcohol, okay, the alcohol, okay, it is literally eating away at your body, eating away at your light chip, eating away at your spirit. Okay? So the etymology of this word alcohol, okay, the cool means ghoul. The cool means ghoul. So what the hell is a ghoul? Let's go back to Middle Eastern folklore. Some state that a ghoul is also a desert-dwelling, shape-shifting demon that can assume the guise of an animal, especially a hyena. It lures unwary people into the desert wastes or abandoned places to slay and devour them. The creature also preys on young children. Oh, really? Oh, really? Just like the goddamn It movie. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. But hey, what do I know? What do I know? Drinks blood, steals coins, and eats the dead, then taking the form of the person they most recently ate. That's the same. That's the same shit as Creepers. That's the same thing as Jeepers Creepers. So one thing we can understand from this information is that the Zionist Jews that run the Hollywood system, they stole all this information from our ancient ancestors and they put it to the forefront in their movies. They put it to the forefront in their movies, okay? Which shows and proves that what they want us to think is fake is actually reality. And the reality that they want us to live is the real fake shit, is the real fake reality. See what I'm saying? The Zionist Jews are operating Operation Mindfuck, and it is the matrix that we are all living in. Okay? All of this shit that they call folklore, oh, it's just mythology and folklore. No, 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 ladies and gentlemen. You all got it twisted. That is the real fucking reality. That is the real reality that we are living. Okay? And this is what our ancient ancestors taught. Okay? They taught us what a ghoul was. They taught us what a jinn was, what a genie in a bottle was. Okay? They taught us what alchemy was. Okay? This alcohol goes back to alchemy, ancient alchemy, freezing the soul. Freezing the soul. Okay? So other life forces and other pieces of energy can latch themselves onto our life force, okay, when they see that our aura field is not spinning. When your aura field stops spinning, okay, it gets weak, the light gets dim and weak, and after that, that's when these other forms of electromagnetic energy, okay, known as ghouls, known as jinns, can latch themselves onto our light, onto our bodies. Okay? Okay? And right here, it says it. It says it right here. Okay? It lures unwary people into the desert, into some place that they're not supposed to fucking be. Okay? Or an abandoned place to slay and devour them. And isn't that the goddamn same thing that Pennywise did in the It movie? It was the same thing. It was the same thing. The creature also preys on young children. There you go. Like I said, there you go. Okay? Then you have an alcohol called gin. What the fuck is a gin? Okay? Jinn, supernatural creatures in early Arabian and later Islamic mythology. They are not purely spiritual, but also physical in nature. Also physical in nature, which means they are capable of going to and from the third dimension and the fourth dimension, What the fuck was Freddy Krueger? Freddy Krueger was an archon, was a spiritual being that could manifest himself in the third and fourth dimension, just like the It movie. Okay? So right here, they're not purely spiritual, which means they can go to and from the third and the fourth dimensions, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? So where does alcohol come from? Alcohol, okay, comes from decaying organic matter. Decaying organic matter. Okay? Decaying fruits, decaying fruits or decaying wheat. Okay? And it's a fungus. It's a form of a fungus. Okay? Right here. And the process is called fermentation. It's called fermentation. Right here. Fermentation. And it is basically the process of forming this fungus into a liquid form, okay, with added chemicals, okay, to basically form the alcohol that people drink. So right here, this ale, what we know as ale, is fermented from malt with hops. Beer is brewed with fermented, brewed and fermented from malted cereal grain, barley. Okay, it all has to go through the fermenting process. Okay, which is basically they're fermenting dead organic material, which forms fungus. Okay, which is a dead fucking material. Bourbon, whiskey distilled from a mash of not less than 51% of corn and aged in new charred oak. Okay, so we have rotten fucking corn. Okay, rotten corn, rotten malt, and then rotten barley. Okay, rotten cereal grain. Okay, which forms a fucking fungus. Brandy. Okay, fruit juice, rotten fucking fruit juice. Cognac. Okay, cognac. Distilled from white wine. Okay, and wine comes from what? Rotten grapes. Okay, fungus. The fungus coming from old rotten grapes. Gin. Okay, coming from what? Rotten berries. Okay, and the list goes on. Right here, vodka, rotten potatoes, rotten rye, rotten wheat, all forming the fungus. Okay, so the fungus is put through the fermentation process. The rotten fruit put through the fermentation process, and it is used, okay, to eat away at our bodies, at our bodies, at our cells, at our organs, which dims our light, dims our aura field, and it causes other electromagnetic light sources to latch on to us, to latch on to our bodies. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why people back out after they get drunk. Okay? Because your body completely fucking shuts down because our bodies were never meant, okay, to take in fungus. We're never meant to take in fungi, a parasitic life form. This right here basically shows that alcohol in itself is a life form, is a dead life form in itself, because it comes from fungus, from dead and rotten fucking fruit, barley, and vegetables. Okay? So we are literally putting a dead organic substance in our body, okay, mixed with artificial chemicals that are coming in our body. And every time the alcohol comes in our body fights it. Okay? And it's a big battle going on in our body with our cells and the alcohol. Okay? So after this battle, see what I'm saying? Most people with weak auras, they lose the battle and they end up blacking out. Okay? So when that happens, the soul completely leaves the body. The soul completely leaves the body, and that's when you're out for the goddamn taking. You're out for the goddamn taking. You end up getting raped. You end up being part of some kind of hazing ritual in college. You end up dying. Worst case scenario, you end up or basically getting possessed by a demonic spirit, which causes you to take on another fucking personality because the goddamn jinns and the goddamn ghouls took control of your fucking light ship. Now you turned into a whole different person. You took on the personality of that fucking jinn, that fucking ghoul. Okay? It's not a game, people. It's not a game. And like I said, the relationship between me and my mother took a very wrong turn when I turned 13 years old. And that was due to my mother's alcohol consumption. Okay? And I know there's a lot of other people out there that are listening to this video that can attest to the same shit that I'm saying. Okay? Alcohol is no good. No bueno. No good. Okay? It is being promoted by the Zionist Jew-owned government. It is being legalized and promoted by our government because they want human souls to perish. They want human souls to perish. They don't want us to ascend in our Merkabah light ships, okay? They want us to have pierced holes in our aura so we can get taken over by demonic spirits and demonic low vibration, low frequency entities, okay? And it's not a game. It's not a game, people. It is not a game. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been in situations with my mother in the past, okay, in high school, where her alcohol addiction got so bad, I was basically getting ready to throw hands, you know what I'm saying, and to fight and try to beat up, you know what I'm saying, my own mother. You know what I'm saying? Me and my mother's relationship got so bad from when I was 13 to about 20 that there were situations, especially when I was in high school, there were situations where, you know what I'm saying, the police were called, and it got to the point where I even threatened to beat up my own mother. You see what I'm saying? This happened to me. This happened to me. So I can attest to something that a lot of other people have went through, okay? That, you know, alcoholism, being addicted to alcohol, it's being used as a tool to basically break the foundation of the human family on the earth. Okay? This right here is to break the human foundation of family. Is to break up the family, the human family unit on the earth. That is what alcohol is being used for. Okay? So its consumers can have their auras, can have their minds hijacked by demon spirits and demon entities. Okay? It's not a fucking game. That's why the Zionist Jews call fucking alcohol, they call it spirits. Okay? So now we're going to watch a video, mind-blowing video, the first 15 minutes of, okay, what alcohol really is and what it's being used for by the elite.
Which refers to a body-eating spirit, and is the source of the modern word ghoul. Perhaps this is why alcoholic drinks are called spirits, and informally, booze. And we all know the malefic effects of consuming alcohol, which is known as the consumption, which is the consumption of one's body and the degeneration and the degradation of one's own body. And of course, anyone who has lived with alcoholism or an alcoholic knows the effects of alcohol and how it affects the human consciousness and the human psyche. Literally, they become blackout drunk, and they essentially, figuratively and allegorically, seem to become possessed by some sort of consumptive spirit from consuming this alcohol. And of course, it literally eats the body, and it degenerates the cells and destroys the brain cells, destroys the human mind. And it literally opens one up to external influences, i.e. the substance itself.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and speed it through this scene because I don't want to get a copyright strike.
There's tons of people that have
Okay, we're gonna move it right here to when they start talking about the parasites that are inhabiting people's body and they don't even fucking know it. And a lot of it comes from alcohol and meat consumption. Okay?
Is fermentation. And fermentation in the human body opens up, creates an environment ideal for parasites to come in and literally to consume that fermentation in order to break down those acids that are formed through the fermentation process. So the consumption of alcohol literally leads to the consumption of your physical body, as well as the consumption of the human spirit. It is literally the death of the human spirit, the human soul.
Do you think parasites are connected with a lot of the diseases we have today?
No.
I think it exists. I don't think it's a big problem.
Are you interested in knowing what parasites do to you?
Probably, I mean, yeah.
Probably not for me. I'll be honest, it doesn't really interest me. There's tons of people that have parasites and don't even know it.
It's a big, very big issue. At the beginning, I didn't believe that I had parasites.
People need to cleanse more often.
I did. I had parasites. That was nasty thing.
I was really shocked when I found out that this is something that affects every single living human, in fact, every single living organism on the face of the earth.
I experienced parasites coming out of my body about 3, 4, 5 times.
You could be leading a healthy lifestyle. You could be jogging, eating raw food, taking vitamins, and all those kind of things, but these guys don't care. These guys are persistent. They're dangerous. They're deadly. They've been around for millions of years. They know what they're doing, and they're inside of all of us, and we're constantly being exposed to this.
There's definitely a problem with it.
There's a war going on, and it's going on inside every one of us, and this is something that we all need to take very seriously.
This is not science fiction. This is scary, it's real, and it's serious. Monsters living inside us that eat our bodies and control our emotions, urges, and thoughts. A Discover magazine feature article said that every living thing has at least one parasite that lives inside of it, and humans have far more. This silent issue is so important, former President Jimmy Carter is putting intensive efforts into increasing global awareness of this serious issue.
As a colon hydrotherapist for approximately 21 years now, you wouldn't believe what I see coming out of people's bodies.
This is not just a third world country thing. Everybody has them. Even normal people with lots of money living in suburbia who take showers 3 times a day. If you eat sushi, you have parasites. 1 square inch of raw sushi meat can contain 10,000 parasite larvae and eggs that begin hatching inside you the minute you eat it. The most.
Hey
Not
guys,
a game,
how's it going?
people.
Today I want to show you my awesome new Wix website. It's got everything I love all in one place.
Parasite larvae and eggs that begin hatching inside you the minute you eat it. The most common kind is tapeworms, which can grow to 60 feet long and live in your intestines for decades.
When I have clients that absolutely love sushi, I find that they have an inordinate amount of that particular problem of like clusters of parasites.
If you have pets, you are guaranteed to have parasites. It doesn't matter if you're vegetarian, raw foodist, vegan, or macrobiotic. Even the healthiest and richest people on earth have parasites. You can't kill them all, only control them, because our bodies have trillions of cells which rely on helpful bacteria like probiotics to work right. If we kill all the organisms in our body, we kill ourselves. The secret is to keep the bad guys to a minimum. Make our bodies so healthy and clean, the undesirable guests won't want to stick around. Don't feed them the junk food they love. Sweet stuff, bread, alcohol, rice, pasta, milk, cookies, crackers, cereal, meat, cheese, cooked foods, refined carbohydrates, soft drinks, commercial fruit juices, junk foods. They love the food you love and hate the food you hate. Even letting yourself become run down energetically allows them to get stronger. So who's winning, you or them? There are hundreds of thousands of types of parasites, ranging from huge worms to the single-celled amoebas that can cross the blood-brain barrier and begin digesting your brain and other organs like your liver, heart, and kidneys. They are silent. They move very slowly so you don't feel them or know they're there. That's how they want it. If you don't know they're there, then you won't do anything about it. They are smart. Parasites are living alien creatures who live off of others. They eat your food. They poop their waste inside you, making your blood, lymph, and tissues toxic. We are living in their sewage. Did you know 1/3 of your poop isn't even yours? It's waste that's been pooped out by parasites. You think you're clean? Think again. Everyone has parasites. They're everywhere. It's almost impossible not to come in contact with them. They are in the air. You can breathe them in. A single handshake can transfer over 500,000 organisms. Anything other people touch, shopping carts, door handles, toilet seats, doorknobs, signature pens, daycare centers, diaper changes, and pets, which pick up tiny unseen organisms from the ground they walk on, carpeting, grass, dirt, lawns, especially grass and lawns that have been used for defecating. Animals lick their butt and then lick their fur, and then you pet that fur, absorbing parasites directly into your skin, while others wait for you to put your hand near your face, where they enter through the nose, mouth, and eyes. They eat your food and use your body as a breeding ground, sucking you dry of nutrition, energy, and life force. Some worms can lay millions of eggs a day. If you break apart a tapeworm, the broken part can regrow into another worm. Common signs of parasites are you're tired a lot, sleeping problems, constant itching, weakness, headaches, lack of appetite, or hungry all the time, especially for sweet foods and carbs, flu-like symptoms, depression, skin problems, acne, arthritis, joint pains, eczema, dermatitis, sinus problems, breathing and lung problems like pneumonia, then uncontrollable coughing, lumps under the skin, cysts, diarrhea and constipation, sometimes alternating back and forth, mucus in your stool, irritable bowel syndrome, stomach aches, cramps, digestion problems, nausea, overly dry lips, vision and eye problems, gas, bloating. Parasites can burrow into your brain and cause nerve damage and eye problems. They can multiply so much in your gut what you think is fat may in fact be entire nests of parasites. They can clog up your digestive tract so much no food can get through, making you constipated. They love to live in your stomach and intestines because that's where all the food goes, and you feed them every day. As a matter of fact, it's said that almost every health condition known can be connected with parasites in some way.
I've seen actual tapeworms come out of a person. It looked like flat, long spaghetti strands. 2 of them.
A 40-foot tapeworm can have 3,000 to 4,000 segments, each one of which can grow into its own piece. It can lay over 1 million eggs a day. If you are skinny and have trouble gaining weight, or have ever had a dog lick your face, if you have abdominal cramping or appendix pains, or liver, gallbladder, pancreas issues, or lung problems, you might very well be host to 1 or more huge tapeworms. Pinworms. If you have sleeping problems, itchy butt, joint pain, or female problems, those are common pinworm symptoms. Whipworms are a type of roundworm that secretes a digestive fluid that liquefies your colon wall so they can eat it. Over 1 billion people have whipworms. Roundworms look like fat spaghetti and are one of the most common human infections. One roundworm can lay 2 million eggs per day, and they can live for years. They hatch in your colon, then penetrate the intestinal wall, enter the bloodstream and lymph system, and then make their way to the liver, heart, and eventually the lungs, where they grow to 2 inches long, pass through the air sacs into the throat, causing uncontrollable coughing, where they are swallowed so they can go back down in the intestines, where they lay more eggs and start the whole thing all over again. Roundworms cause pneumonia-like symptoms, breathing problems, chest tightness, asthma, heart problems, fluid retention, mucus in the lungs, nagging cough, digestive problems, stomach pains, cramping, nausea, bloating, malnutrition, protruding stomach, and intestinal blockages. Sushi is one of the major sources of tapeworms, which can grow to over 50 feet long in your intestines. Walking barefoot is a good way to pick them up, not just in dirt and grass or in the house of pets, but also the beach. Hookworms. Remember the movie Alien? Hookworms have 4 sets of teeth, so they can eat your intestinal walls and suck your blood. People with hookworms lose a lot of blood and don't even know it. Parasites can penetrate the placenta in a pregnant woman and enter the baby. They can even be passed through breast milk. Parasites can even contribute to infertility and childbirth difficulties. If a child is born, it can have retarded mental and physical abilities. People with parasites are never living life to its fullest capacity because they are sucked dry of energy, minerals, and nutrition. They are tired all the time, depressed, and barely alive. All of their life force goes to the parasites.
We're all subject to this, like it or not. It's a fact.
Tests done at funeral homes show that 97% of the body fluids in people were totally consumed with parasites and worms. Scientists are just beginning to discover exactly how powerful and disturbing these hidden monsters can be. Our cells are controlled by chemical signals. Parasites emit a chemical that directly affects our behavior, thoughts, decisions, and urges. Think about that. Something inside us that's not us, causing us to make unsafe decisions, so we eat, drink, and do things that benefit the parasite, including physical contact with other people so the parasite can spread. Why do we eat foods and do things we know are bad for us? Why is this so hard to resist? They look like snakes. Even the Book of the Essenes refers to the parasite as Satan, the serpent living inside us, tempting us, ruining our health, breaking apart our relationships, and ruining our lives. Throughout all of history, they've been warning us. Think about it. From the very beginning, Adam and Eve were tempted.
So that basically, in a nutshell, okay, gave you a general synopsis on what's going on, okay, around this world for people who are not hip to this knowledge that they are living in a matrix. Okay, if you're not on a Dr. Sebi alkaline diet, if you're not on a Dr. Sebi alkaline diet, you for a fact, okay, you have some kind of parasite in your body. Period. This is why I go so hard on the people, you see what I'm saying, who I know for a fact still eat meat, you see what I'm saying, still drink dairy milk, still smoke the GMO weed, still smoke cigarettes, and you see what I'm saying, still drink alcohol, because I know for a fact that they have some form of a parasite in them that is in control of their light shift. Okay, otherwise they wouldn't have come at me with hate for no goddamn reason. You see? So that was one of the best videos that I saw, okay, breaking down alcohol, what it really was. And you see what I'm saying? How most people on this earth have parasites inhabiting their body. That showed the physical parasites, okay? Earlier, I was speaking on the spiritual parasites that enter the body, okay, as a result of alcohol consumption, okay? So right here, this just shows you the process of fermentation that is used to create alcohol, okay? Okay, it's basically formed when they take the fungus, the fungi that comes from dead and lifeless fruit, vegetables, and grains, okay? And they use that fungi in a chemical process called fermentation, okay, mixed with more artificial chemicals, or mixed with the government's artificial chemicals to create the alcohol that we see in the stores, okay? So, like I said, this is the root. This is the root of what everybody, you see what I'm saying, is getting hip over, getting excited over. You see what I'm saying? This alcohol consumption. You see what I'm saying? They put it in shiny ass golden bottles. You see what I'm saying? And sell it for fucking $200 to $500. You know what I'm saying? Bottles of champagne, and certain wine, but it all comes from fucking fungus, fucking rotten fruit, rotten barley, rotten grains, rotten vegetables. That's where the shit comes from. Okay? They're selling you fucking flesh-eating fungus. Flesh-eating fungus. That's what you're drinking. You know what I'm saying? When you drink alcohol. And that's the cold hard truth. That's the cold hard truth that we have to live with, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? So right here it says alcohol is a depressant, which means that it is used to slow down. It is used to slow down our vital functions. Okay? To slow it down. So our vibration slows down. Okay, our vibration gets lowered, and that's when the demon spirit, okay, can latch itself onto us. Okay? Because we have to be keeping up as sentient beings, as beings that are formed from orgone energy. We have to be on the same vibration as the universe. What they call it, the universe, which means one vibration, one universal vibration. And if you're not matching that speed and your speed slows down, okay, because you took this alcohol, now demon spirits will get a hold of you. See, alcohol, a depressant, meaning it slows down the human vital functions. Okay. Also, according to this article, okay, according to this article right here, states that the Egyptians, okay, they made beer, okay, and Kemet, ancient Kemet, they made their own form of beer. Okay, yes, our ancestors delved into very notable things, very righteous things. They also delved into certain things that, you see what I'm saying, are spiritually unrighteous. Okay, and one of these things was beer consumption. Okay, and right here, the ancient Kemites, the ancient Egyptians, they discovered okay, that beer holds the soul. Right here. Beer holds the soul. Means that it freezes the soul. It slows the soul's motion down. It slows the aura down. Beer holds the soul. Right here. Okay? Right here, people. Okay? So you see what I'm saying? You see what our ancient ancestors, you see what I'm saying, we're doing. They knew all about it. They knew all about it. Okay, all about it. This all goes back to ancient alchemy. Okay? Is your Merkaba light ship, is it gonna reach the celestial seas, or is it gonna go down to the goddamn seas of inner earth so you can party with Pennywise? You see what I'm saying? So you can float down there with him. Okay, so you can float down there with the goddamn interterrestrial reptilians. Goddamn clown demons. So right here it shows that even our ancient ancestors knew. Even our ancient ancestors knew, okay, what alcohol really was. Okay? They also used alcohol in the goddamn genie lamps, in the goddamn genie bottles, capture the goddamn soul in the bottle. So when you took the cap off of the fucking bottle, okay, and you had to rub the fucking lamp because you had to rub the alcohol off of the soul, off of the life force, off of the electromagnetic energy that was encapsulated in the genie bottle itself. Ancient alchemy. Okay? That's why they tell you to rub the lamp. They want you to rub the goddamn alcohol off. Okay? And they also want you to open this cap. Okay? Which frees the electromagnetic essence, okay, of the soul. Okay? It doesn't look like this. No, it doesn't look like this. It looks different. This is just a depiction, but I'm breaking down the science, okay, behind our ancient Sumerian and our ancient Kemetic ancestors and how they mastered the science of capturing the soul. Yes, light has weight. Yes, electromagnetic energy has weight, and it can be encapsulated and captured, okay, in an inanimate object, okay? And that is what I showed and proved in the Harry Potter Decoded video that I uploaded, and YouTube banned it. YouTube banned it and said it can never be uploaded to YouTube ever again, okay? But that's fine, because I'm going to upload that shit on another platform, and I'm going to wake up hundreds of thousands of people with that information. Like I said, I don't give a damn. I know what I came back to this earth for, to wake up the masses. Like I said, I'm just doing my part. Okay? So once again, the Zionist Jews know the origin and the true purpose and the true power of alcohol, but we don't. You see what I'm saying? They know our ancestors, what our ancestors thought, they know what our ancestors knew about alcohol, but we don't. So they put the truth right in front of our goddamn faces. Okay? Right here. Wine and spirits. Wine and spirits. Wine and spirits. Wine and low vibrational spirits. There you go. There you go. Okay? The Zionist Jews know that our ancestors knew that alcohol, okay, was a form of low vibrational spirits. Okay, the Zionist Jews know that knowledge, but we don't, because we've been brainwashed by the Zionist Jews media. See, demonic possession is very real, people, very fucking real. In all of your scary movies, in 95 to 98% of your scary movies, all of the goddamn people or the teenagers that were drinking alcohol when they weren't supposed to be, when they were drinking alcohol, I'm willing to bet my money they ended up dying. They ended up getting murdered in that movie. All the motherfuckers who was drinking alcohol, all the motherfuckers who was smoking weed, smoking cigarettes, all of the motherfuckers who were engaging in premarital sex, they all ended up dying, getting murdered, and getting their goddamn asses harvested. I wonder why. Because the Zionist Jews who made the movie, who make this horror movies, okay, they know our real reality. They know our ancient ancestors' art or their knowledge of alchemy. They know our ancient ancestors' a knowledge of alchemy, and they put it in their goddamn movies while making us think that it's fake when it's really our real reality. Okay? This whole world we live in is one giant mind fuck. Okay? It's one giant mind fuck. We are living in one giant horror movie. We are living in one giant horror movie. Okay, the reptilians and the Greys live in inner earth, and their goal is to keep human souls reincarnating on this earth, keep our vibration matching their low frequency. They don't want our vibration to get the 13 vibration, which is the vibration of the universe, okay? Which is Ptah, which is Ptah's vibration, which is the vibration of cymatics. And they might even block this information, because when I introduce the vibration of cymatics, I'm going to show you a vibration that can be used to bring dead people back to life. And it's called cymatics. And it's basically the pure 13 vibration of the universe. And it comes directly from the god Ptah. Okay? And it's called cymatics. They don't want us to get on the cymatic vibration. Okay? Because if you get on the cymatic vibration, that's Merkaba activation immediately. Okay? So let me go ahead and play this video on what cymatics is.
Alexander Lauterwasser is a photographer who makes captivating images of water under the influence of sound vibrations. As a child, Alexander raised tortoises at home in Heiligenberg, Germany. He came across illustrations of Chladni sound figures that bore a striking resemblance to a tortoise shell.
Die, das war das Überraschende für mich, sehr enge Verwandtschaft haben mit Strukturen in der Natur und besonders hier mit dem Schildkrötenpanzer.
Chladni figures are named after Ernst Chladni, an 18th century musician and physicist. He spread sand on metal plates and played them with a violin bow. The vibrations from the bow caused the sand to gather into beautiful geometric forms. Next, Alexander discovered the research of Hans Jenny, a Swiss physician, who took up and expanded on Chladni's work in the 1960s using fluid mediums and electronic amplification of sound. Jenny coined the term cymatics, from the Greek for wave, for this branch of study. Today, Alexander Lauterwasser is building on the work of his predecessors, employing modern sound and recording equipment. He has custom-built devices which allow him to stimulate various materials, such as sand or water, with sound vibrations whose frequencies can be precisely controlled.
Um das Ganze auch dokumentieren zu können und festhalten zu können, wird es hier mit einer Videokamera gefilmt. Wenn das alles richtig eingerichtet ist, gehe ich an den Frequenzgenerator, beginne mit einer relativ tiefen Frequenz.
The sand is pushed from areas where the vibration is strongest and collects where it is the weakest, forming patterns that correspond to the particular tone that is applied to the plate. The higher the frequency applied, the more complex and detailed is the pattern that results. Under controlled conditions, These forms are repeatable.
The higher the frequency of vibration, the closer you get to Merkaba activation. All coming from cymatics. Okay? Cymatics is basically the vibration. Cymatics is the vibration of orgone energy. Orgone energy is the energy force that binds electric and magnetic forces together. Orgone energy is the energy force that binds electric and magnetic energies together. Okay? And the motion of orgone energy is called cymatics. Okay? And through cymatics, okay, people on this earth can literally move mountains and giant structures through this vibration called cymatics. Okay? We can actually raise certain people from the dead, certain life forms from the dead through cymatics. Cymatics is the number one, it is the vibration, it is the highest vibration of the universe. Okay? Why do they call it the universe? Una means one. Verse comes from a song. What is a song? A vibration. A vibration. Universe, one vibration. Universal vibration. Okay? So, right here, we see on a microscopic level what happens to water, okay, when it meets these cymatic vibration. Okay, it takes up the form. Water takes up the form of the goddamn universe. As above, so below. Water takes up the form of the universe under cymatic vibration. Okay, and it forms the same goddamn image as a sea turtle's shell. Okay. That's why our ancestors paid so much homage to the sea turtle, because the guy right here told you the connection between the cymatic shape and the turtle shell. This guy told you right here.
Alexander Lauterwasser is a photographer who makes captivating images of water under the influence of sound vibrations. As a child, Alexander raised tortoises at home in Heiligenberg, Germany. He came across illustrations.
He noticed that the water drops under the microscope that were hit with cymatic vibration, they match the same image as the sea turtle shell. Okay? And this is what I believe the universe looks like when you're dwelling in the macroverse. When you're in the macroverse, looking at the universe, this is what the universe looks like in a great distance. This is what the universe looks like: a giant bubble shell, okay, which looks like the back of a turtle shell. Okay, our ancient ancestors learned this knowledge from the Elohims, from the Anunnaki, and this is why our ancestors paid so much homage to the turtle. Okay, the turtle is probably the most important animal on the earth besides a human. It's the turtle. Okay? Right here.
These sound figures that bore a striking resemblance to a tortoise shell.
Das war das Überraschende.
Bingo. Okay? And this is why, okay, in the movie, it is going to go to war. The goddamn clown demon going to go to war with a sea turtle known as Marturin. See what I'm saying? Look up the etymology of the word Marturin. I already broke that down in a previous lecture. The goddamn clown demon, Satan himself, is going to go to war with Ptah. Okay? Ptah is the creator of the universe who dwells in the macroverse. Ptah is responsible for all orgone energy, okay, that is inhabiting all universes. This deity is responsible for that, okay? responsible for the Oregon energy, which produces magnetic and electronic energy, electricity. Okay, and this deity right here is responsible for cymatic vibration waves that come from the Oregon energy, which produce life. Okay, which produce life. This deity is responsible for that. The animal that represents this deity, okay, is the sea turtle. The sea turtle represents the universe because, like I said, put water under a microscope and hit it with cymatic vibration, cymatic sound waves, and which are high frequency, okay, high vibration sound waves, and the microscopic water drop is going to take the image of the sea turtle shell. And take that same image of the sea turtle shell. Okay? Because as above, so below. This universe is on 13 vibration. If we were to stand outside of this universe and look at it, it would take up the same shape, okay, of this turtle shell. That's why the sea turtle is so goddamn significant. Okay? This is why they want us to consume alcohol, because they don't want the water molecules. They don't want the water molecules in our body to crystallize. They don't want it to crystallize when we get on 13 vibration, because when it crystallizes, that is when Merkaba activation hits, and that is when we reach Christ consciousness. When the water molecules in our body, when they crystallize, when our Merkaba light ship is activated, because at that point, we are able to travel the celestial seas, okay? So we don't get caught up. We don't get caught up with goddamn Pennywise, okay? Okay? Who's on a very low frequency, very low fucking vibration in inner earth, okay? That's why he told us, okay, they all float down here, because Pennywise wants to hijack. He wants to hijack our light ships. He wants to hijack our light ships. Okay? When you look at Georgie's ship was the top half of a Merkaba. Okay? It's not a game. And one of the biggest threats to our Merkaba light ship is the goddamn alcohol. Okay? It's the goddamn alcohol, people. It's not a joke. Not a joke whatsoever. So basically, that's all I had to say on this topic. My next lecture is going to be delving into more detail, a more detailed synopsis, a more detailed description about what cymatics really is, more examples of cymatics, and the true energy of cymatics, the true power of cymatics. Okay? Because if we tap into that, if we tap into Hika magic, Oregon energy, and cymatics, the global elite are fucked. They are fucked. So we'll see if YouTube allows that video to go up, because I proved how cymatics can be used to bring people back from the dead, and then I proved how souls can be encapsulated, electromagnetic energy can be encapsulated in a genie bottle, okay, which basically proved what they showed in Harry Potter was real. Okay, Horcruxes are real. That's why YouTube blocked my Harry Potter video and banned it. Okay, so I'm going to be uploading my Harry Potter video on another platform, and if I have to upload my cymatics video on another platform, that's just what I'm going to have to do. But as far as this topic, that's really all I had to say. I appreciate everyone who supports RFG and Atlantean movement. Please like, subscribe, and share this video. It's The Chosen One, man. I'm out.